Spoiler warning. Do not watch this video if you have not seen Star Wars Rogue One.
How's it going, YouTube? This is Kumo, and guess what I saw? I seen Rogue One, and let me tell you right now, I thoroughly enjoyed it. We actually had to fill out these little like scorecards, and sorry if you can't see that. And I would rate it an A or higher. That is the option that you have. I would definitely recommend this movie. It is not quite your normal Star Wars movie. It's not like the original trilogy. It's not like the prequel trilogy. They have like aspects of each inside, but it is its own movie. It has the Star Wars style, but it has its own style. And so I give a round of applause to director Gareth Edwards. I watched his first movie, Monsters. I could not wait to see Godzilla, and I did enjoy Godzilla. This third movie of his is fantastic. It's every movie he's done. I believe he's only done 3 movies. Each movie has progressed, and it has gone better. This movie, I don't know if I can convey how excited I am right now. It's kind of late, so I can't be too loud, but I'm really excited. So happy that this movie was good. It was so good. So let's get into some of the characters. So Felicity Jones played Jen Erso, and her storyline is basically she is a daughter of a technician for the Death Star, and she is hidden away from the world because if the Empire had her, they could control her father, who is building the Death Star, and it would have leverage over him. So they hide her away. So you have Diego Luna, who is Cassian Andor, and his character was really was pretty good. It wasn't like Han Solo level, but the characters fulfill what they need to. Those are the 2 main characters. You also have K2SO, which surprisingly I enjoyed. C3PO was, at least to me, a little bit annoying, but that's how C3PO was supposed to be in the original trilogy. He was C3PO was supposed to be the comic relief in the original trilogy. Kind of shared the role with R2D2 as that, but this character K2SO is so. He has some funny lines. The way he says his lines and his dialogue are just really funny, and I did not expect that from this character. Next we have Donnie Yen, whose character's name is a little difficult and I might butcher it, but it's like Chirut, and I don't even want to try to pronounce the last name, but from the trailers, what I got from his character is he was going to be a spiritual, not quite Jedi character, but just a spiritual, physical. He's like a blind fighter. He is a blind fighter, and he actually has some funny lines as well. And this, if I didn't say spoilers, I apologize, but this is a spoilers. But in the movie, he had a line that, so he's a blind character, and Jen and her team are getting taken away to go see Saw Gerrera. Yeah, I believe that's the character's name, and they put a bag over everyone's head, and Donnie Yen's character's all like, really? Like, I'm blind already. So it's pretty funny. So all the characters are awesome. They're fantastic. Um, there's not too much I can complain about character-wise. And let's get to this guy right here. So Darth Vader is in the movie for 2 to 3 scenes, and the scenes that he is in are just crazy. My brother actually had a problem with the scenes of Darth Vader in this movie because they're not consistent with the original trilogy's Darth Vader. But this Darth Vader is a brutal, just, he has the mindset of Anakin. When Anakin goes into the Jedi Temple and Revenge of the Sith, he just has no mercy and he's just killing everyone. Well, this is how Darth Vader is in this movie. The scene towards the end of the movie with Darth Vader is legitimately terrifying. If you were standing in the hall with Darth Vader, this Darth Vader in this movie, you would have no to very slim chance of surviving this Darth Vader. Just force choking, force pulling, just lightsaber, you can't hit this guy. Darth Vader in this movie was so powerful, so crazy, and I really enjoyed this Darth Vader. Well, it's the same Darth Vader. James Earl Jones voices Darth Vader in this movie and in all the movies, but this Darth Vader and all his scenes are just very powerful. Darth Vader actually has a funny line when he's talking to the main character. Let me find out his name. The main villain of the movie, I had to find his name. I can't seem to find his name. The main villain, the guy in the white cloak, is talking to the Darth Vader, and he is asking, basically, is he in charge? And Darth Vader kind of just puts him in his place, and you see Darth Vader, and he's like, hold up. You see Darth Vader, and he's like turned around, and you see the guy like kind of reaching for his neck because he can't breathe, and Darth Vader like turns around just like ever so slightly, and he has his hands like right here, and he's like, don't choke on your aspirations. But it was just, Darth Vader had a funny line in this movie, and I didn't think that Darth Vader could be funny. This movie is a very different take on some of the Star Wars characters, and it's a refreshing take. You're not seeing it through the point of the Jedi. You're seeing it through the point of a team of people who are trying to get the Death Star plans. Basically, it's a setup for Episode 4. You have so all your main characters are good, and the cool thing about this movie, it's kind of cool, but then and kind of not cool in a way that these characters are not seen through the original trilogy or through Episode 7. So basically, you can do whatever you want with them. And my brother and my sister both enjoyed this part, that they basically just wiped off all the characters that you have in this movie do not exist, except for a few minor people who live on through the original trilogy. If you're not a original trilogy cast, you're probably gone. What was his name? Tarkin, the commander of the Death Star in Episode 4. Really cool what they did. So I believe that the actor who played him would have been really old if he was still alive today, so I'm assuming he's not alive, or he was unable to act in this movie. But they had someone, I'm assuming his general shape, his general face, and they had a CGI face, and you could tell slightly that something was off. and it didn't look correct, but what they did to make this actor look like the original Tarkin in A New Hope, it worked. It was slightly off, you can tell it was CGI, but it was really close. It's similar to what they did with Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War to make him younger. And they actually do that at the end of the movie with another character in Rogue One. So at the end, when Darth Vader fails to get the Death Star plans, I'm waving a lightsaber around because I'm just imagining Darth Vader's scene in that movie, which is so crazy. He fails to get the plans, they slip it through a door, and they fly off. And the plans are handed to Princess Leia, and she turns around, and you don't know if they're gonna show her face or cut right before they turn. They actually show the person's face, and again, it's a CGI'd face onto an actor's body, but it looks real. Tarkin and Princess Leia look like they did in Episode 4, which is so cool what they can do with technology today. But anyways, all the people who were not in Episode 4 basically died, and that is very sad. The more emotional scenes that there was two really emotional scenes for me. I didn't cry, but I might have if it continued long enough. K2SO dying. I didn't think you could be sad for a robot dying. And when he dies, it is very sad because of how attached you get in such a short period of time. It's crazy how I was attached to these characters in this movie in this short period of time. You had K2SO, and just for you know this character for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you get that emotionally attached. That is a good sign on the director's part and the people who portrayed the characters and who made the movie. Same thing with Donnie Yen. I didn't think he was gonna die, but his last scene, he's really have to see the movie. I'm not gonna explain it very well because I've only seen it once. But basically, there's a master switch that they have to get to in order to transmit the Death Star plans off of this planet. And Donnie Yen's character gets to the switch by believing in the Force, and he just kind of just walks through the field, and he flips it, and he's satisfied, he's fulfilled his role, and he understands that he is basically going to die right there. And he gets blown up, and he is saying his last words. His death scene is also emotional with his buddy, which I'm not sure what his buddy's name is. I have the list pulled up right here, but I cannot recall his buddy's names. But I'm gonna definitely have to watch this movie again because I really enjoyed it. The movie it was how many minutes long? Give me 1 second. See how long. Box office details. It was 2+ hours long. I can't find the exact time, but it basically was maybe 2.5 hours long. And what they did in this movie in just that short period of time, they could not do in 3 prequel movies, which it's not comparing this movie to the prequels, but it is Star Wars, and you have to have some reference point. I'm not sure if this is my favorite Star Wars movie. It is a very different Star Wars movie, which I really have to see the second time. But before I see it the second time, I'm probably gonna have to rewatch all of the other movies just to see where it lands in my ranking of Star Wars movies. But just know that Darth Vader's all of his scenes in this movie are such a blast to watch. They're just so crazy. Either he is just this very iconic Episode 4 Vader, or he has the skills of Anakin Skywalker, just deflecting and killing everyone in his path, which was a terrifying scene. Oh, one last note before I end this video. I was walking out with my brother and my sister out of this Harkins theater, and what do I see on the projection? On like hanging, there was a screen hanging from the ceiling. I see Bruce Lee from his scene from Enter the Dragon, and he's swinging his nunchucks around. Kind of reminded me of Darth Vader, but it was just a sign. Enter the Dragon is going to be playing in Harkins theaters January 31st. So I'm taking off that day off of work to go see this movie in the theaters. I was supposed to see it with all the live cast in California. Unfortunately, I didn't have the money to go see it. Once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm so disappointed I could not go. I missed out, but I will be able to see Enter the Dragon again anyways. Bruce Lee gave his approval on Star Wars. And imagine if Bruce Lee was still alive today, and if he was in Donnie Yen's character, which would be crazy. I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee, and whenever I watch a movie, sometimes I can see different characters being played by different actors, and Bruce Lee is one of the main go-to guys. For example, like Donnie Yen's character, it would have been cool to see Bruce Lee as the martial artist style spiritual person in this movie. Another movie I think maybe I'll make a video about is Bruce Lee in The Matrix. There's different nods to Bruce Lee in The Matrix, especially in the fighting scenes. His move is being used in some of the scenes, like his signature nose taunt. But anyways, that I'm going off topic. Go see Rogue One if you haven't, but if you've stayed to the end of the video and you spoiled it, my explanations do not compare to the movie. Go see the movie, and if you like the video, like it, share your thoughts about Rogue One below, and I will see you guys in the next video.